What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and 2020 is coming to a close. Now of course it hasn't exactly been the best year, but it's been a fantastic year in terms of games. There were so many great games that I played this year that I actually had to make myself stop getting them because I didn't want anything I wanted to talk about to get pushed off this list. Now read the title of this video again. This is top 10 games I played in 2020, not top 10 games of 2020. Any game is allowed on the list as long as the very first time I played it was this year. Yes, even remakes of games I've already played, since those are typically recreated from the ground up. HD ports and remasters, though, are not allowed. So sorry, Thai HD, I enjoyed playing you again on PS4, but you gotta get out of here. I also have to mention that I haven't gotten the next gen of consoles yet, and I haven't played everything that 2020 has to offer. So if you don't see stuff like Demon's Souls or Age of Calamity on here, it's not that I don't like them, I just haven't played them yet. Maybe next year. But with that said, let's begin the top 10 games I played in 2020. Fall Guys, one of the cutest games to release this year, and in an absolute power move, it released free for a month on PlayStation Plus. It was so addicting, so colorful, and so packed with content that I couldn't pull myself away for that entire month. I even made it to the maximum level in the first season. It was the very first big trendy game that I was actually there for day one. Unfortunately, after that first season, I just kind of fell off like a lot of other people did. But not for the same reason as them, there was actually something different. You'll see when we get to number 3. But with all the server and connection problems, plus the lack of crossplay so I can't play with my friends, it was really hard for me to cling on to it. I do like what I'm seeing in the updates though, so maybe someday I'll finally be able to really get back into it. For now though, Fall Guys falls into the number 10 spot. And in complete contrast to Fall Guys, we now have the horror game Amnesia. Now at first this wasn't anything I was eager to play, it was just on sale and I figured I don't play too many horror games, so why don't I check out more. But man, it was definitely worth the purchase. Now don't let the fact that it's the funny PewDiePie game fool you, it's legitimately scary. The atmosphere was very tense, it actually got me to care for the story, which is rare with these types of games. And I got the best experience out of it that I possibly could. I turned down all the lights, only played it at night, and tried my best not to scream. There's not too much else I can say about it beyond the fact that it's just a great horror game, so be sure to check it out if you have the time. I'm hallucinating that the Amnesia Collection belongs in the number 9 spot. SpongeBob Squarepants, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. What a mouthful. In the ways of Crash and Spyro, this is another from the ground up remake of a beloved legendary 3D platformer. Unfortunately though, I never had a chance to play the original, so this was my first experience. And as far as licensed games go, I was very pleased. It's very colorful and bright, very fun to play, the controls are very smooth, and even though there are a few bugs and glitches here and there, they never got in my way of playing. Now, even though it's a PS2 game, it did end up being a little bit shorter than I was expecting, the music is a tad bit overhyped, and the multiplayer is a complete joke. But even despite those flaws, I can see why people love this game so much. And with the legacy it left behind, I think it definitely deserved its remake. So SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated floats to the number 8 spot. Remember in my 2019 video when I got the Jak and Daxter collection so I could catch up on the couple of Jak games that I missed out on? Well, I finished up Jak 3 in 2019's final days and didn't start this game until 2020, Jak X Combat Racing. Only the Jak and Daxter series is legendary enough to make it on my list 2 years in a row despite not having a new game in over a decade. Jak X Combat Racing is insanely chaotic. Don't go into it expecting it to be like Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing. It's explosive, it's fast, and frustrating at times, but once you get the hang of it, it's ridiculously addicting. Now the story, even though it was ridiculously silly, it's hard to take a matter of life and death seriously when it involves racing cars, I still found lots of enjoyment in it because Jak and Daxter's characters are just that entertaining. But with Jak X done, I've finally gotten through all the Jak and Daxter games worth playing. Sorry Lost Frontier, maybe someday when I'm bored. Jak X Combat Racing finishes at number 7. When it comes to games centered around Dragon Ball Z, with how often they release, it's always a coin flip on whether they'll be good or just rushed, bland projects. And thankfully, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is more on the good side. Now, as more and more got revealed on this game, I was getting more and more worried. It looked like you were going to spend so much time just flying over empty wastelands and curb-stomping enemy grunts that got in your way, but there's actually a lot more to do. There's fishing, cooking, selling, trading, gear and vehicles you can upgrade, all kinds of extra battles and side quests. I thoroughly enjoyed everything this game had to offer. It really brought you into the world of Dragon Ball. If the DLC hadn't taken so long to come out, I might have gotten that too. Maybe someday though. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, do not skip this one. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Instant Transmissions into number 6. A game where its entire existence completely relies on the people who buy it and make stuff for it? Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, it actually did. Dreams is a very neat game, allowing other people who buy the game to create their own games within the game. There's gonna be lots of use of the word game in here, just warning you now. The game creation in Dreams is so detailed and so fleshed out that people have created some truly incredible stuff. There's been lots of projects involving Mario and Sonic, and the details and physics have been just about on point. It's absolutely insane, and even the games that aren't great are still completely entertaining and hilarious. I mean, they're still better than anything I could do. I couldn't wrap my head around the game creation. If I could, this probably would have been a lot higher on the list. For now though, Dreams is uploaded into the number 5 spot. Okay, something cuter than Fall Guys did come out this year. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I really didn't expect to like this game as much as I did. I just saw it as something soft, cute, and silly that I'd play with my friends every now and then whenever they're in the mood. I never realized how much enjoyment I'd get out of the game by myself too. It's so relaxing, calm, and peaceful, and there's lots to do, but it kinda had the same problem Dragon Ball Z Kakarot did in that the updates took a bit too long to come out. I had already moved on to the next thing before it really got going. But even then, I still enjoyed the times I did return to it after dropping off, because I was playing with friends and I enjoy spending time with them. I created lots of memories with them, and I can't wait to create many more in the game. Animal Crossing New Horizons sets up camp at the number 4 spot. And now we come to what got me away from Fall Guys, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I'm not a very big fan of sports games, or sports in general, but Tony Hawk was no doubt a huge part of my childhood. Pro Skater 1 and 2, Underground, Proving Ground, all that good stuff. And these remakes weren't exactly something I expected to happen, but were ones I was excited for anyways. The Tony Hawk games are not just fun to play in general, but they also introduced me to some of my favorite musical artists and bands of all time. And the remakes kept up that trend as they introduced a couple new songs into the series. I do of course have a couple problems with it, like the character creation mode is very limited, the online is very bare bones, and it's missing some of the crazy characters like Spider-Man for obvious reasons. But aside from those flaws, the gameplay and core pro skater aspect of it all is greater than it's ever been. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 reverts into the number 3 spot. It's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based combat in games, so even as soon as last year, if you were to tell me a Final Fantasy game would make it into my top 10, even up at the top 2, I wouldn't have believed you. But I guess the Final Fantasy VII Remake would have proved you right, because here it is! They've ditched the turn-based aspect and made it nothing but pure hack-and-slash action, and I love it! But it's not just the gameplay changes I'm a huge fan of. They made the story more entertaining, the soundtrack is one of the best I've ever heard in a game, and overall it's just so pretty to look at. And this is just part 1 of the remake. I'm already shaking my legs in anticipation of what the future parts could have to offer. It's been a long time since a game has surprised me like this, so the Final Fantasy VII Remake breaks the limits of the number 2 spot. No surprises here, number 1 is exactly what you're expecting. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. It is very much a worthy sequel to Naughty Dog's original Crash Bandicoot trilogy. The gameplay and controls are fluid and responsive and fun, the level design is super creative and beautiful to look at. The cutscenes, while I'm not a huge fan of the story, is full of so much breathtaking and expressive animation and visuals, packed with really good humor, and overall is still very entertaining to watch. This game is loaded with content too, so many skins to unlock, the flashback tapes which is one of the best additions this new era of Crash has added so far. alternate timelines, and a brand new inverted mode. Now I'm not gonna lie, collecting every last thing this game has to offer is a massive pain, but it hardly makes a dent in the overall quality of this product. Not to mention it'll be a lot less painful if you take your time doing so as well. None of us 100%ed the original trilogy on our first go either, so why rush this one? So, despite how rough this game is to 100%, it doesn't lessen the quality of any other aspect of it. And hopefully you can see why it deserves the #1 spot. But let me know what you guys think. What were your best games of this year? And what do you hope to see next year? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.